The DeLorean to me is like the antithesis, the peak of 80s car culture. It's one of the most iconic cars ever made, and it's probably one of the most legendary cars ever made.
Hi, welcome to the channel. This is episode 1 of Mosseri Autocraft, and I'm super pumped you guys are here and you're able to create a whole new brand based around my love for the 80s and 90s. But I feel like to get started, we have to kind of go back. My name's Tim Mosseri. I'm a fabricator. I've been building high-end cars, turbo systems, probably 2009, 2008. I got my start drifting, actually, believe it or not. Super passionate about driving and being behind the wheel. So I learned real quick that drifting is very expensive and owning a race car is even more expensive. So I started building my own. And I started on my own car. It was a 240SX, 1990 I think it was. I had like 5 of them over the lifetime of my career, from like 2003 all the way up to 12, 13, somewhere around there. I just became more and more in the position of working on cars and doing the fabrication and less driving, that eventually I just shifted into just building and just wrenching and just mainly just having a passion for fabricating and welding and putting stuff together. So when that was all said and done, 2021 rolled around and I decided it was time to own a DeLorean.
The DeLorean. Gull-wing doors rise effortlessly, beckoning you inside.
It's been a bucket list car of mine since I was probably 6 years old. We've all seen the movie, we all know about the jokes, and no, it does not have a flux capacitor.
What did I tell you? 88 miles per hour!
What I decided to do is just finally get this car off my chest. I wanted to restore it and just be able to build it and just have fun with it. Some of my partners found out about it, and my friends and some sponsors. Garrett Turbos, Toyo Tires, Haltech, Vibrant. I've been working with these guys for a long time. So in 2021, I took the car from just a normal, everyday, average DeLorean. It was actually the cheapest DeLorean in the country at that time. I bought it for $10,000. Kaiser Salim, a good friend of mine, designed the Widebody kit. Tyler from Fortune Auto Design did all of the CAD work and turning it from concept into reality. From there, we were able to build the craziest widebody DeLorean. Now, a widebody DeLorean is one thing, but to have the power plant to be able to back it up, that's another. We went with a 5.3 all aluminum block LS, mated with 2 Garrett G-Series mirror image turbos. Down low, out from the back of the car, just like an old IMSA Porsche race car. This car was very, very reminiscent of that era, of the 80s. At the end of the day, it turned out to be, I think, 5 inches wider on either side. Skull wheels, designed 3-piece one-off wheels for the car. We went with an 18 by 10.5 in the rear and a 17 by 9.5 in the front. I think it's like -60 in the rear or something crazy. Got Willwood 6-piston brakes up front, all titanium, supplied by Vibrant Performance. The cold side and the exhaust system is all titanium. Garrett G-Series turbos, like I said, with Turbo Smart 50mm wastegates, all out back of the car. And the real icing on the cake for the exterior aesthetics was my buddy Steve Mullins from Skeptic Innovations. We worked together to create some really unique lighting for the car. You know, we wanted to take that cyberpunk feel that the DeLorean always has and always will have, in my opinion, and really take it one step further. So we reversed the grid on the back taillights and went from, you know, just the red on the inside of the boxes to having hollow lined acrylic taillights with the actual LED lighting inside. Same with the front end. We did some 3D printing and created completely new buckets, created completely new headlights. Status gave me a fresh pair of seats. We went with a rosé interior, very reminiscent of 80s, you know, that Miami Vice flavor. And then we had a really nice Haltech IC7 display and AC gauges from Resto Mod Air. We took the car to SEMA in 21. It was an instant just showstopper. Fortunately, I didn't have enough time to build the car completely, so I entered it in the Battle of the Builders for giggles. SEMA actually flew out to the shop I was working at the time, did a whole interview, and I really think at the time their eyes were really set on this car, because if any of you have been to SEMA before, you know that there's Camaros, there's Corvettes, there's Challengers, there's Chargers, there's just your blonde brunette redhead of cars. Nobody is showing up with a DeLorean. And that's kind of like a double facet of why I built the car. I built the car because it's my dream car, but I also built the car because I knew that if I came to SEMA with something that's mine, that I built, I really have to stand out. And everything's been built before, but the DeLorean is almost like an untouched thing. And to be honest with you, if I ever saw another DeLorean at SEMA, It'd probably be bittersweet, and I didn't see one in 22, and I didn't see one in 23. Well, I haven't seen one in 23 yet because none of us have been to SEMA in 23. Our plans are to build a completely new car for SEMA coming up. I haven't got a buyer for the new car yet. That's someone crazy enough to build this thing, but we do have some pretty cool plans. But what I wanted to do, guys, for this first episode was be able to bring you up to speed with the wide-body car. Still have it. It's still in our possession. It's still in the shop, still in the family. And we have some pretty big plans for it. It's not going to go back to SEMA, but we plan on driving it. We plan on figuring out how much horsepower this thing makes. I think the record right now is 500 or 600 horsepower with a twin turbo V6. We have a twin turbo V8 with some of the best turbos in the world, so we should be able to make more than that. And just have fun with it. This channel is about having fun. This channel is about fabrication. It's about building stuff with your two hands. I do, as you can see behind me, have a couple DeLoreans. I am pretty deep into the DeLorean world right now. My plans are to kind of branch out to other cars in the future. But for right now, if you guys like DeLorean content or you like cars from the 80s and 90s, then this is the channel for you. If you like to learn how to fabricate, if you like to learn the process, this is also the channel for you. So first things first, get the car back together, bring you up to speed as to what it has and what we've done to it, and then go from there. So it's another day. I've caught you up to speed, guys, who I am and what we do here. But now it's time to get to work. So first order of business is the wide-body car. Back in January, the DeLorean went to an event in West Palm Beach, Florida called Supercar Week, run by my good friend Neil London. So I had the opportunity to bring the DeLorean out to the VIP, and a good friend of mine, Art Lana, who is a really famous artist, we came up with the idea to do an art car and to paint it. And this isn't actually the first time that the DeLorean's been painted. At Art Basel the previous year, the car was wrapped gold for an event with a friend of mine, Elo, from Supercar Rooms, because he wanted to commemorate the 40th anniversary of DeLorean, and we figured at the same time, let's paint it. So we took it over to Miami, had it painted. It was like this Dali thing going on. So this is the second time the DeLorean's been painted, and this will be the last time, because this time we did it for real. Legit, spray painted right over the stainless steel. Art Lana came out, he banged it out in about an hour or two, and he did like this psychedelic, crazy, really 80s retro paint job on the car, and it came out great. It was a good event. People were really blown away. After that event, the car is kind of waited in the wings. Time to bring it back to its original SEMA 2021 state. Now, this wide-body kit is the only one of its kind in the world. We pulled molds, but the molds got ruined in the process of removing the actual parts from the mold. The guy that I had do the fiberglass work it was just like a rush job, and I was just kind of at the end of my rope as far as how much I could possibly do by myself. So this truly is the only wide-body kit for this car, and there's no molds and there's no way to produce more. So it just makes the car that much more unique and that much more valuable in my eyes, and I just try to see the glass half full because I lost my molds. And yes, I did cut stainless steel fenders up in order to make this work. Before you guys roast me in the comment section, this car was kind of a basket case. Everyone online was saying that it was a parts car, parts car, parts car. So I felt pretty good about cutting it up. It wasn't a huge deal. So once the wide body kit is installed, we go ahead and put the wheels back on, lower it back on the ground, and we're gonna go ahead and roll it outside, guys, and you get to see this thing air up and down and see it in all its glory. Alright guys, I hope you liked episode 1 of the Mosseri Autocraft channel. We dove in deep on the wide body car today. showed you guys the ins and outs of that build and what we went through with SEMA and other events. But make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because things are about to escalate, as you can see, quite exponentially. So make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.